Hey, headed to West Virginia to pick up a 67 Pontiac Catalina. Story on this thing is up until 6 months ago, it had sat in a garage since '95. So long time. This guy got it from the original owner. Hopefully it's as he says it is, which is rust-free, completely rust-free. Now the engine's locked up from sitting, but you know what? I'll take that for a rust-free body. No big deal there. You'll see the car in a second. I've still got an hour to go. Well, I got it. You might be able to see it back there. And not as good as I was led to believe, but you know, it's still worth the money, I guess. I don't know. I was expecting zero rust and I found Bondo right away. Well, not right away. I actually already had it on the trailer when I decided to look for Bondo, because I took the guy at his word, and of course he wasn't there. He had his mom there, and I bought it anyways because, I don't know, I'm a fool probably, but we'll see. It's still a cool car. So anyway, yeah, I took a couple pictures that I can probably throw into this video. I may have already done so. I didn't really get any video. Well, you know what? I did get a little bit of video, so just not on this camera. But I'll throw some in here. Well, it's in. I'm skipping the gym tonight. They are not wrong with that one. This thing definitely needs some help. For sure. That's exactly what I plan to give it. Well, time to push back out and wash it. This thing is a mess.
You say I make you nervous, a tragedy, I'm a beautiful disaster, a reckoning. You wonder how I got this way. You think I'm someone to be saved, someone to clean up and tame. Oh, some things never change, never change. You think I would look pretty on your arm once you cover up my bruises and battle scars, but it always ends the same.
Definitely really easy to see the spots you missed. I'd say she was just a little dirty.
Got you crying on your knees in pain. Oh, some things never change, never change. You'll break your
that came out pretty nice. It's getting leaves all over it now. So the last owner says he put some Marvel's Mystery Oil in the engine and then never tried to see if that freed it up after that. Based on the amount of Marvel Mystery Oil that's on the floor of my shop right now, I would say it's a safe bet that he did actually do that. So by my counts, it's about 2 gallons of ATF and 2.5 gallons of Marvel Mystery Oil. There's a half gallon left in here. I wonder just how full of oil this thing is. Let's find out. Well, it's not so full that it's coming out the dipstick tube. Here's the full line. You can see it's about, I don't know, 3 inches from the end of the dipstick. Let's see what this tells us. It's full all the way up to here on our dipstick. This is the full line on the dipstick. So we have 3 times as much fluid as we're supposed to have. Yeah, that pretty much checks out. I was up to about 4 gallons of crap in the engine. And it's 3 times, you know, normally it's going to be about a gallon. It's leaked all over the place. When I pulled the car out, there was a huge puddle underneath it as well. And supposedly he did this 6 months ago. So I wouldn't be surprised that at least a gallon has leaked out. No need to mess around. I'm going to go ahead and get out the big breaker bar. All right, we're on. Well, the bolt moved. Nope. This engine is stuck tight. That mess all over the floor. That's what's leaked out since it's been here. And oh, I guess I should go check that out. It'd be just my luck. That's how my day's been going. But of course, you know, when you jack it up, moves a little bit. Let me go see if I've smashed the Cadillac grill. That's about as close as it gets. And be very careful when I bring it down. There we go. Hopefully you can see that line just going up on the bucket. I think we're closing in on about 2 gallons maybe. Thing's at least halfway full. Yeah, I think we definitely got 4 gallons in there. Let me put the drain plug back in and pull that out. We'll take a look. But that's 4 gallons. Well, that's at least 4 gallons. Wasn't really planning on working on the Catalina today, but it's, I don't know, early February and it's almost 70 out here. So I figured I really should do something other than just wander around. I'm going to dig out that 400 Pontiac that's on the other side of that pile and see if I can at least get it cleaned up a little bit and take stock of what it might need. Well, here is our donor motor. This came out of a 71 Grand Prix. It is a 400. You can see it's been rebuilt, I mean repainted, which it's going to happen to it again. The timing cover needs to be replaced. This one is junk, I seem to recall. And really I know that because I left a replacement sitting on top of it, so I know that one's bad. So that's got to come off, which means we may as well do the timing chain while we're there. And we're definitely going to do an oil pump because we most likely need to replace the pan with the one that's in the Catalina. I just looked at the exhaust manifolds over there. They are definitely different than what's on here. So those will have to be replaced. I'm not digging this rust around the intake, and I seem to recall that this Q-jet was junk. I just happen to have an aluminum Pontiac intake, so we'll probably put that on there. Hopefully the transmission in the Catalina is good. Now that should be a Turbo 400 that's in there. This is the Turbo 400 that came out of the Grand Prix. But I'm just going to stick with what's in there because that just seems easier. And we know the real problem with the Catalina is the engine's locked up. So, you know, there's no reason to believe the transmission's bad. Yeah, a bit cleaner. Look at that freeze plug. Yeah, that's just about done. I have to replace those. See, the mice have been living under there. This engine stand's a bit of a pain. That's my second best engine stand. It's an old Offenhauser. You can see it's been painted. So I want to get this paint off of here. So I'm just going to start with a razor blade and then work our way to the stripping gel. If you remember, I used this on the C10. Okay, so you might not want to try this around something with a good paint job, which this is not. But it's fine for this truck. Seeing as it worked pretty well, you know, we'll try it again. First though, I want to just get this flaking paint off. Save us a lot of time with the stripper, you know? And by stripper, I mean that stripper. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this says manifold side, so this is the wrong way. Yeah, that would make sense that these would be on the side for the aluminum intake and not for the iron heads. Yeah, that's backwards. And check this out. Got a casting date. This was made 11/15 It's either 83 or 89, kind of hard to tell, and I guess it's a model 5720. All right, time for some of our stripping gel. Want to shake this up, put some gloves on, and then what you want to do is take some of this, pour it into a metal container, right? And then use like a paintbrush or a chip brush or something to spread that around. Now, I have neither the patience nor the time to find any of those, so I'm just going to use what I have on hand. And once you've got this all over here, you're going to let it sit for 30 minutes to 24 hours and see how well it's working. 24 hours later, and here's what it looks like. Did okay there. And not so much on the back side here. Yeah, wire brush time. Problem with the wire brush is scratches up the aluminum. So here is our first swipe at it. Didn't do too bad a job now that I've wire brushed it. But time to hit it with some more stripper, and this time I'm using a paintbrush. And we're just going to paint it on here really well. Get into all the cracks and crevices, all the nooks and crannies, all the peaks and valleys. I can't think of any others. Maybe put some in the comments. I was really trying to not put this in the sandblasting cabinet, but that's where it's headed because I'm tired of messing with this terrible stripper. Back to work on the Pontiac engine. I've been in Florida for a week and it was great. It's cold here, but it was nice there. What I'm going to do is start taking a bunch of stuff off of here, and the stuff that is not going back on, like a bunch of this stuff, it's going to go down in the bottom of the cart. And then the bolts and stuff that I'm going to reuse are going to go in the top of the cart to be reused, cleaned and reused. And then later this week, it's actually supposed to be in the 70s here. It is not today. It is very cold and windy. But once it gets into the 70s, then I'll go ahead and paint this. But for now, I'm going to tear it down some and see what we got. That's not good. This is really not a good sign. It's not looking good. Here is where we are at. Now I've got to go to Home Depot and find some long bolts to use with my harmonic balancer puller. These are very fine thread. I just don't have any of the bolts. Once I get this off and get the final bolts for this cover off, then I'm going to work on this bolt here. You saw earlier, this is very stuck. It is not going anywhere. What I suspect has happened is this steel bolt has had some sort of reaction with the aluminum cover, and so it's actually stuck in here, and it's not a problem with the block. At least that's what I'm hoping. So once I get the rest of these bolts out, then I will probably hit this with a hammer and try and hammer it this way, because I have more leverage screwing with the cover than screwing with the bolt. What probably would end up happening if I keep trying to mess with this with either an impact gun or a ratchet is I'll just break the head off of here, and then I'll still have a long bolt stuck in here, and it won't do me any good. Just about got the balancer off. Yeah, it's a lot of rust. Take this out. I'm hoping that once I have the timing cover, all of the bolts loose in the timing cover except for this one, I'll be able to work it free. So I think it's going to require a little bit of violence. I want to just bust this bolt in half, which I could probably easily do at this point. But yeah, let me hit this with a hammer a little bit. Well, broke the timing cover, which is okay. I don't think this part of the water pump's supposed to come off. Woo! How's that for messy? I don't think this water pump was any good. Alright, so a little violence goes a long way. But right? You look at that one, it's not as bad, but not looking good in there. That's pretty much filled with rust. I think my idea to change the timing chain, probably a good idea. Unfortunately, we do have a broken bolt here, and I think the reason that other bolt was only halfway in and not in all the way is because there's also a broken bolt in there. You probably see it. And that's why that bolt was only halfway in. I might take it to so I might just take it to the local machine shop and have them take care of those two bolts. Fortunately, that's as good as it gets. I was going to clear coat it after I got all the paint off, but I really decided I didn't like the way that it looked. It's got a lot of kind of stains and stuff that's just not going to come off without a whole lot more work. And yeah, so instead of clear coat, we're going to paint it aluminum color. And this is oh, what is this? Oh, there you go. Cast Coat Aluminum DE 1650. It is engine paint. Well, there's 3 coats of paint on the intake. Hopefully that paint lasts a lot better than the last paint that was on here, which they may have just applied right over grease. Clean it up a little bit and slap some paint on it. Looks a bit better now. This time I did some actual work to it. You know. And I know what you're thinking, why didn't I take the gaskets off? Well, that's just easier than taping it. I got to clean all that crap up anyway, so. Alright, sorry I had to charge the battery up in the old camera. But while it was charging, I did get the old valve covers off, and check this out. Not bad, huh? These look like they were redone not that long ago, which is actually kind of scary because they look like they have hardly any use. So it's time to get this oil pan off, and hopefully we don't find something that we don't want to see. Got a mismatch of bolts. Not what I want to see. It's not good. Not good at all. So we can ignore some of this, like these chunks right here. These are off the timing cover that I had to break to get off. But all this down here, no, this was definitely not caused by me. And this is metal. This is definitely metal. So is that. The sad thing is this engine was running. And I know that because I drove it off the trailer into the shop and pulled the motor. And all of that didn't happen in those, 20 feet. All right, well, I guess I'll be tearing this one down and see how bad it is. Found it! Look at that right there. And if you look, both of those rods, see, these rods are a nice golden color. And these are just as dark as can be. They got a little hot. And yet she spins over just fine. Yes, I have taken it all the way around a few times and goes right around. I had hoped at the end of this video the Catalina would actually be running. But I think I'm going to end it right here with a fucked up engine. So, like, subscribe, comment. I'll see y'all down the road and I'll figure something out with this. It's going to be an expensive machine shop bill is what it's going to be.